welcome to another episode of Voices from the Field, where we bring you stories from the heart of political battlegrounds across Uganda. I'm your host, Viola Kusasira, and today we are going to take you to the picturesque hills of Kisoro district, where a fiercely contested by-election for woman MP has just come to an end. And the winner? Grace Ngabirano Akifeza, an independent candidate who has shaken up the political scene in this one stronghold of the national resistance movement, the NRM. But how did she pull off this stunning victory? Was it her grassroots mobilization, her background in human rights, or was it a reflection of deep-rooted divisions within the NRM itself? Let's dive in and find out. In this by-election, Akifeza emerged with a clear win, securing 50,459 votes. Now that's a significant margin, especially when you consider that her main opponent, the NRM's Rose Kabajeni, only managed 44,982 votes. That's a difference of nearly 6,000 votes, which in such a tight race is a big deal. And then there is the rest of the pack. NUP's Sultana Salim with 903 votes, UPC's Mabel Ingabire, FDC's Juliet Musanose, and PPP's Aisha Chimpaye, all trailing behind in the single hundreds. So what went wrong for the NRM? To start, Akifeza's victory isn't just about her own personal appeal, it's also about the fractures within the NRM itself. A huge factor in her win came down to the fallout from the party's internal primaries. Dr. Philemon Mateke, the NRM chairperson for Kisoro, publicly condemned the party's decision to impose a candidate from Kampala without consulting the local people. He even went as far as to accuse the NRM's Electoral Commission of ignoring the will of the voters in Kisoro.
And the people of Kisoro who know their people, their candidates, are saying no. Don't depose a candidate on us, and a popular candidate on us.
So where do you see this taking the NRM party in Kisoro? Because now, if
these elections will determine who is popular and who is not popular.
So, Chairman, you seem to...
You should have found out the shortcomings in the elections, where the refugees supposed to vote, where people supposed to vote without register, where small kids are allowed to vote. Were you here when Dr. Tangudo was here?
Imagine that. The very person who's supposed to support the NRM candidate turning against them. Dr. Mateke didn't hold back. It didn't stop there. Dr. Mateke, who's a seasoned political figure in Kisoro, took matters into his own hands and endorsed Akifeza. He even campaigned for her for over 4 days, drawing on his influence in the district.
Honorable, none kino dutoraga tukabonesha na kwijana mwewe yo mugezira imbere kandi mwe babireba babibaga bote mudufashe
none byo kwiba ari abashura bagenda ku manywa abandi bakagenda nijoro abijoro nabo turagenda turabashakira umuti kugira ngo badasubira kugira ubururu bwacu kandi abwira yuko Kisoro yose iri n'uyuguye.
I mean, this was a man who had been with the NRM from the beginning, but here he was backing Akifeza, all because he felt the party had disregarded the wishes of his people. His endorsement carried weight, no doubt about that. But things got tense. As you can imagine, this created a major rift within the NRM. Kabagye's campaign struggled to overcome the divisions, and even though the NRM leadership tried to reconcile Dr. Mateke with Kabagye, it just didn't work. I spoke to Rosemary Seninde, the NRM national mobilizer, and she confirmed that the refusal of such a high-ranking member of the party to support their own candidate was a blow.
I think I appreciate the fact that he has been open and clear, because there are times when someone hides and you work with him not knowing what exactly their motives are. But at least we are very glad that he has been able to tell the truth, that he's not going to support the flag bearer. And because of that, definitely, it has helped us now to know how to work with those who are ready to work for us and to work with the flag bearer without disturbing him. But of course, we have taken an initiative to meet him, to talk to him, and he has been very clear. He's not ready to bow down. So at least we shall not regret for not talking to him. But we have other leaders who are already supporting and have already seen the light and have agreed to work with us, and we are going to continue working with them. Yes, it is true that there are some NRM leaders who thought the same, but because they thought their chairman is not supporting the candidate, they would follow. But I think we are going to have more interactions with those leaders to ensure that we show them how important it is to support their flag bearer. The flag bearer that we have has not been identified by the NRM Secretariat or by the President, the chairman of the party.
The NRM had to go back to the drawing board, and the election was already in full swing by that point. Now it's not just about the party politics. The election also revealed some ugly truths about sectarian tensions. Kabagye and Akifeza come from different religious backgrounds, Kabagye being Catholic while Akifeza is Anglican. And as you might expect, this difference fueled some of the divisions on the ground, with supporters of both candidates becoming increasingly polarized along religious lines. It's a situation that President Museveni himself condemned when he visited Kisoro, warning against divisive politics. You know, I remember something President Museveni said during his visit that really stuck with me.
Ibyo by'amadini n'amoko nibyo byashenye gavumenti za mbere. Kuva 1966 kugeza muri 1986 ibyo nibyo byashenye Uganda, kiba turi kure cyane. Imyaka yose 20.
Twaturi no kurwana entaro tutereze ikigambo iki.
Intaro zabagaho, intambara zabagaho, kwari kugira ngo dutereze cyangwa se umwanda tuwirukane.
Ubwo cyo hatikikatere ni muri abati ufite kugenda.
Muri kureba ko turi kugenda bitewe nuko amadini hamwe n'amoko twararwanyije.
Nawe cyo ukwenda kurete ibyo n'abari umuzigo wa Uganda.
No muntu ukuzana ibyo. Uwo muntu ukuzana amoko n'amadini ni umwanzi wa Uganda.
Habukuba kandi mo bari ahantu mu manyiri ya mbere Rwanda.
Murabizi byabaye muri bene wacu hakurya mu Rwanda.
Icyakiretse n'iki amoko.
Ibyatewe n'amoko nkuko mubiyebuka.
Aha kera
Kongo nayo hepfo ngaha.
Icyo kutabura n'iki amoko didn't to some extent, but mainly amoko.
He is right. Uganda's history is full of examples where religious and tribal divisions led to violence and chaos. So when these tensions started bubbling up, it was concerning for everyone involved. But there is more to this story. Even with the religious divide, it was clear that Akifeza had built up a solid base of support. And it wasn't just her supporters. There were signs that Kabagye's campaign was in trouble. During one of President Museveni's rallies, Akifeza's supporters showed up in full force. In fact, when Akifeza arrived at the rally, she made a dramatic entrance in a super custom vehicle, standing through the sunroof, waving to the crowd. And every time Kabagye's campaign songs played, Akifeza's supporters cheered, showing their loyalty. it wasn't just about her own base, it was clear that there was a broader discontent with the NRM establishment. But of course, no election is without its controversies. As election day unfolded, accusations of electoral malpractice began to surface. One of the most serious allegations came from voters in the Busanza area who accused a local MP, John Kamara, of ballot stuffing. Voters claimed he arrived at a polling station with armed escorts and intimidated people into voting for Kabajene.
Kagihamba yaje aje gutora yatikinze ibibando yatikangaga ububando ashiramo agaruka atikinga ubundi abushiramo kandi abyira n'abari kurondesha ngo nibamutikingire ashange bamaze kuba bwinshi abushiremo ariko ngezaho arambira ngo mpira agashyiruru ndakanga ndavuga nti ntaho nshaka gukorera isente nshaka gukorera amazima n'ubwinkanye ageze nyuma aratabuka aravuga ngo niba nshaka konona ukabwira abasirikari bankubite ukabankuriho agasimu bakamena ariko yatabutse abonye nshaka gukubira abunkuriye ikibina cacu ca nubu yagiye kutabuka abasirikare baravuga ngo nimvuge buhoro ngo babasha kumfata bakamfunga jewe nkomezamo ariko mundamwo twatwicaye mvamo ngeze hanje ageze aho arandeba aragenda ageze mu modoka haruguru aravuga ngo ningenda ampe soda ariko mfuri ndavuga ntaho nshaka soda ntaho nshaka gukorera isente aragenda amaze kugenda ariko hine undi mugabo wanyamabuye
yatikinze ubururu bungahe
yamuhaye uburenze 10 nawe abushiramo
ubururu burenze 10 none ubururu bwabafashe mu none
yashizemo bungahe ko waruhanye
none ndi kukubaza ubururu buno bwabafashe akanya wewe babaza bungahe 150
160
yes
bwatowe bwasigaye muno 54
wakoze
tubona tugendera kuri ubwo
wakoze cyane
But some people had already voted.
Yako na wale bakoze iki abatoye
They were voting with that machine.
no kunyura muri ka machine.
Okay? Now, the people, this polling station, people must continue to vote. The returning officer has already been in touch with the officer here.
Kubwiyo mpamvu turatuma abantu bari innocent ngase batafite ikibazo batakora iki batatora ngo bagiye gukomeza mari gutora returning officer agiye guma hano.
So do you have to voting should go on?
Mu kwemera nangoya.
Yes. Voting should go on. Yes, voting should go on. The problem has been identified. The wrong ballot papers which were protected have been removed. Now, people should continue to vote.
Baravuze ngo uburuga butaboneye bose bakoze iki babukuyemo hasigayemo ubuki uboneye.
I'm the chairman of the Electoral Commission.
Uyu ni ukuri y'amatora mu Uganda yose.
Okay? So let voting proceed.
The Kigezi Regional Police confirmed the allegations and launched an investigation.
Among these incidents, we had an allegation of ballot pre-ticking and stuffing after it was confiscated from the concerned at Busasani polling station in Busanza sub-county, allegedly by Honorable Kamara John Ninzeimana, area MP from Ngabirano North constituency. It became everyone's concern because that's a person of his caliber, and as I talk, we are looking for him so that he's arrested, so that law can take its course. This case is like any other criminal case, which is subjected to investigations, and the outcome will determine a way forward.
This sparked more sympathy for Akifeza, with many voters rallying behind her as a response to what they saw as an attempt to undermine the election's integrity. In fact, the vigilance of voters during the election was palpable. At one polling station, soldiers from a nearby military barracks showed up to vote, and there was some confusion about whether they were allowed to. There was even a brief scuffle, but after confirming that the soldiers were indeed registered voters, the situation calmed down. It was a tense moment, but it also spoke to how closely people were watching the election, especially given the accusations of malpractice.
It's okay. You don't talk to me.
I'm not talking to you, but again, I'll first talk to you. There is suspicion.
You don't know that suspicion. People have made a mistake. Our voters cards here, you have retained them here.
All barracks have got the voters cards. The chairman has kept our voters cards.
The chairman is the one who keeps our voters cards. You think we are silent? We don't know what is going on.
And yet, through all this, Akifeza's victory tells a powerful story. She's a 52-year-old businesswoman with a strong education background. She's got 2 master's degrees for goodness sake. But more than that, she's someone who has been involved in her community and who knows how to connect with the people on the ground. At the end of the day, this election in Kisoro marked a significant shift in the political dynamics of the region. Akifeza's win wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a clear message that the voters were ready for change. They were tired of being told who to vote for, tired of seeing their voices ignored. It's a reminder that in politics, it's not always about who has the most money, the biggest political machine, or the most powerful connections. Sometimes it's about who can speak directly to the people, who can unite voters around shared concerns, and who can stand firm against powerful forces trying to impose their will. As we wrap up this episode of Voices from the Field, one thing is clear. The political landscape in Kisoro has shifted. Whether or not Akifeza's victory is a sign of things to come for the region or the country is yet to be seen. But for now, Kisoro has sent a loud and clear message. They are not just going to follow the old political script. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Until next time, I am Viola Xasia, and this has been Voices from the Field.